education for me and my siblings. I always knew I wanted to be a biomedical engineer when I grew up. I graduated from high school with high honors and from Stanford University. In 1982, I was the first Black woman to fly in space. In 1987, I became the first African American woman to be an astronaut. I received several awards for my accomplishments, and I am Dr. Mae Jemison.
All right.
I was born January 26, 1944, in Birmingham, Alabama. My parents were school teachers and taught me about racial injustice against minorities. In the 70s, I was associated with the Black Panthers, and I was an activist. In the 80s, I ran for Vice President of the United States on the Communist Party ticket. I worked as a lecturer at UCLA, and because of my radical views, President Ronald Reagan swore that I would never speak in California again. And I wrote about the injustice. And I was later rehired to teach at UCLA. I remain an activist, author, and college professor. I am Angela Davis. I was the people.
Yeah! All right, Angela.
I was born January 7, 1891 in Alabama. I grew up in Florida but became well known in New York during the Harlem Renaissance. I attended Howard University where I studied Black folklores of the South and wrote about them. Ever heard the book Their Eyes Were Watching God? I wrote that, and it was made into a TV movie starring Halle Berry. I wrote many novels, folklore books, essays, and short stories. I am the accomplished writer, Zora Neale Hurston.
All right.
I was born in Kansas City on August 29th in 1929. By the age of 13, I taught myself how to play the alto saxophone, and eventually I was playing with famous jazz musicians. I love chickens so much, my friends named me Yardbird, but I changed it to Bird. My sound has often been imitated but never matched. I am Charlie Christopher Parker, but you can call me Bird.
All right, Charlie Bird Parker.
Oh, they got a step with him on 18 to the line, Maddie. Woo!
I was born in Silver, South Carolina, August 25th, 1927, but I grew up in Harlem. My family was dirt poor, but we did the best we could during those times. I was the first winner of the 1956 Grand Slam tournament. I also was the first to win championships at French Open, U.S. Open, Australian doubles, and Wimbledon. I made $100,000 playing set matches before the Harlem Globetrotters basketball game. In 1964, I was the first African American to join and play in the Ladies Pro Golf Association. I'm sure you know who I am. That's right, I'm Althea Gibson.
All right.
Let's see who this is, Master.
Well, let me make sure my sister can sing.
I was born in Tyrone, North Carolina in 1933. At the age of 4, I was playing classical piano. Both of my parents were preachers and exposed me to the gospel music. I moved to New York to study at Juilliard, and in the summers I trained in classical music. But in order to have some extra income, I took a job at a nightclub in Atlantic City. But who knew working at that nightclub would give me the gig of a lifetime? It's why I began singing jazz and pop music. Heck, my first major hit was I Love You, Porgy from Porgy and Bess. In 1963, my life changed with the Civil Rights Movement. I took steps to pursue equal rights, and I sung about it in some of my songs. Remember the song I Put a Spell on You? I put a spell on you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Close your mind. I put a spell on you.
Sing it, baby.
Close your mind. Yep, that was me. I also co-wrote and sang the original version of To Be Young, Gifted, and Black. I made over 40 albums in my career. I am Eunice Wayman, but you know me as Nina Simone.
All right.
I don't think you can touch that one.
I was born in Chicago on January 17, 1964. I traveled 3 hours every day to get to the first magnet school in Chicago. I graduated salutatorian of my high school class. I went to Harvard and Princeton where I received my law degree. I joined a law firm where I met and later married the love of my life. I have many accomplishments, but first and foremost, I'm a wife and a mother. Next to God, family is the most important thing to me. Oh yes, did I mention I'm married to the first Black president of the United States?
All right, Michelle.
I am Michelle LeBron Robinson Obama, First Lady of the United States.
All right.
First black lady of the United States. Let's see who this is.
I was born August 4th, 1961. I attended the top prep schools. I went to Harvard University to study civil rights law in order to make a difference. In 2004, I became the U.S. Senator of Illinois. I wrote a keynote speech at a Democratic convention in Boston. In 2008, I ran for president with only 4 years of political experience.
All right.
Guess what? I won. I became the 44th president of the United States, and I was also the first African American president. I was.
Well, he didn't have his speech writers with him.
Did I also mention I was mentioned to a beautiful wife, and I have 2 beautiful daughters.
All right.
I am Barack Hussein Obama.